So I'm down here at King Grove Avenue Reserve, home of Bexley North FC, and I'm here to talk about soccer. I've got my sister behind the camera who's helping out with the filming. I've got my brother here who's going to help out with the soccer aspects. Introduce yourself.
I'm Zachary Papadopoulos. I'm brothers with Alex and I play for St. George FA.
Now, he's going to be helping us. We're going to cover 3 aspects of soccer today. The first aspect will be penalties, 12 yards out from the goalkeeper line. Then the second aspect will be corners, and then the last aspect will be the basics of goalkeeping. So the first aspect we'll be talking about today is penalties. Now, when it comes to penalties, there'll be your 12 yards out from the goal. You'll have the keeper in the middle of the goal and the one player who will be hitting the ball. Now the ball, one rule of penalties is the ball has to move forward off the bat, off when it's kicked, and the keeper has to stay on his line until the ball is kicked. Now, the keeper will like to play mind games and mind games from the player to the keeper. This is to put off either one of the players and hopefully to benefit one of the teams. Now, there's a lot of pressure in the aspect of the penalty taker when coming to taking the penalty, because it's a very easy it's a lot easier for the keeper to score to not save the goal than for the penalty taker to miss. So that's why there's more pressure. Now, there's different ways you can hit the ball. If you want placement, you'll hit the ball with your inside of your foot, as my brother's showing here. And if you want power, you'll hit it with your laces, like this. Now, depending on who you are as a penalty taker and how you like to hit the ball and who you're coming up against in goalkeeper, that is different ways where you can hit the ball and get past the keeper to score. Now, another aspect of penalty taking is not only from the penalty taker, it's now from the goalkeeper. Now, the goalkeeper must remain on the line, as my brother here is demonstrating. There'll be a black line or white line, depending on where you're playing, across the goal line. And the keeper will not be allowed to move across the line until the ball is kicked. Now, obviously, as you can see, for example, Zach, it's not very easy for him to save the goal when it's being a penalty, because depending on the power and depending on how well the ball was hit. And obviously, it's a real disadvantage for the keeper. So that's why mind games come into it. If he moves across his line, makes himself look very big, like Andrew Redmayne did for Australia to send us to the World Cup against Peru. That's a good example. Or in 2005, when the Liverpool keeper was just doing a little wiggle on his line to put off the AC Milan penalty taker. Now, these are ways mind games keepers can play to make sure that they are able to either get the player to miss the goal or actually save the ball and be, a hero in his team. The best way to score a penalty is hitting it in the corner and hoping the keeper dives the other way, because by doing this, the keeper has very little chance of saving the ball. And especially even if he goes the right way, if you hit it well enough in the corner, then it will be a good enough shot where it will go in. Normally people, when taking a penalty, they like to aim from here onwards from the goal, because as the keeper's in the middle of the goal, it is very hard for them to launch off their line and make it to there by the time the ball reaches, especially when the ball's hit with a bit of power. Now, people like to be clever and they might chip the keeper, or otherwise known as pananker it. And the reason this is because the keeper dives the other way. It looks nice and clever. It looks like they've tricked them. And now will be a demonstration of how to take a penalty. We've shown you different ways you can take one. I've given my brother free rein on how he would prefer to take one, whether that be power or placement. But yeah, here's a penalty. The second aspect we'll be covering is corners. Now, there's different ways you can take a corner. There's also different variables you can take a corner. You can, depending on the player, you can have it in the middle of the box, on the edge of the little corner area, or you could, depending on if you have an in-swinger into the box or an out-swinger. It all depends on the situation in the game and how good your players are at taking corners. Now, the first corner that we'll be covering is a short corner. It's nice and simple. Zach, bang. That's a short corner. Pretty simple. Now, from here on, I can maybe take a touch, cross it in the box, take a touch and pass it out over there. Now, other aspects of the corner is you can hit it in the middle of the box. Now, the ideal spot you want to hit it is in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. Now, that's ideal because that's where the majority of your players will be, whether they are running in for the edge of the box, which is always tactics that teams like to use, like Liverpool and Bayern, to throw off the defenders. And then also, you can have players in the middle of the box waiting to receive a header because maybe they're tall. Like, for example, United, they like to have tall players, they like to do that. And it also depends on where keepers are. Because keepers are positioned in the middle of the 6-yard box sometimes, so they come collect the ball and start their team to counter-attack where they would only have a few defenders over there. So that's some of the aspects. And now it always varies over here, because if you have an outswinger of, for example, Zach here is an outswinger, so he'll be aiming for in between, closer to the 6-yard line, because that's where his best aspect will be, because he'll get enough curl on it to hit it. Now, for example, if I was taking a corner as a left footer, I would be wanting to aim sort of just before the penalty box, because then it'll be easier for my players to attack the ball. Now it would be the complete opposite on the other side, because the field is switch and mirrored. So yeah, that's it for corners really. Penalty, couple corners, now we're on to basically goalkeeping. Now the whole game of soccer has evolutionised over the years, especially the role of the goalkeeper. It's gone from just being a shot stopper to now being a sweeper keeper, as well Manuel Neuer presented throughout his years as a goalkeeper, and he's revolutionised the goalkeeping game. Now, there are main aspects in goalkeeping. So the basics are how to catch the ball, how to dive for the ball, positioning, asserting your dominance, control of your defense, and distribution. Now, how to catch the ball. You want it in a W like this, nice and secure. If you're catching the ball like this, you're not going to have secure, it'll go through your hands and you look like a mug. If you're catching it like this, it's probably from a high ball, or like this, again, high ball. Now, another aspect is how to dive for the ball. Now, Zach, it will demonstrate how to do this. Knee, hip, shoulder, like, is the safest way to do it, because if you hit your hand, you hit your elbow or your hand on the hard surface, you're going to hurt yourself, and you don't want that happening. Now, Zach, please demonstrate a dive for us. Perfect dive from Zach there. He did knee, hip, shoulder. It was a perfect dive from him. Now, that's what you want to be doing in game, but like us, you won't always actually get a chance to do that, because you're going to be moving fast. You might make a mistake or something, so you might hurt yourself. But it's all right. You move on. Shouldn't be too bad. The next aspect is asserting your dominance in the box. Now, like I said, you're going to be catching the ball high sometimes. So you want your knee up to protect yourself, and also if someone runs into your knee, you're really going to assert your dominance, because they're going to think, oh wow, this keeper's massive. The keeper knows what he's doing, and well, you're going to control your team. Another way is getting the ball from the feet of the player. Shows that you're confident and you're asserting your dominance as a goalkeeper in the box. Another way is also by just coming out and looking big and making them a bit scared. That's another way. Now, the other aspect is positioning in the box. Now, depending on where the ball is, that's where you'll be. If the ball's on the left-hand side, you'll be on the left-hand side of the goal. If the ball's on the right-hand side, you'll be on the right-hand side. Ball's in the middle, well, you'll be in the middle. Now, depending on where the ball is, if the ball's around the 20-yard line back, you'll be where about Zach is now, maybe a bit on your goal line. That's just to be in the best position to come as an option and to save the ball. Now, if they're about the halfway, you'll probably be about from where the 6-yard line is to this penalty spot. That, again, best position for distribution, to distribute the ball, and also so you can save the ball. Now, and the other position where you'll probably be is if the ball's on the other side of the pitch, you'll be at the 18-yard line, maybe a bit further, depending on how confident you are and how much you want to assert your dominance in the game. This is the best way to be distribution and, again, save the ball. Now, another aspect is distribution. So you do a drop kick like this. That's a pretty bad one, but you hit it higher and hit it further. You want it to go about 80, 90 meters. And then you also do goal kicks, throw-ins, throws, and rolls. The throws and rolls are used to hit the player directly, so we can start the play and go quickly for a counter-attack, for example. Goal kicks are always used when the ball goes out of the other team, and you've got to just kick it off the floor in the 6-yard box and hit it as far as you can and try to hit a player. And, well, drop kicks are from wherever you choose to hit the drop kick from. The last and final aspect of the basic goalkeeping is controlling your defense. Now, as a goalkeeper, as you can see from the view we've got here, we've got view of the whole pitch. Now, you really want to control your defense, especially position them in the right position so they are able to get the ball off the attacker as quick as possible and keep possession of the ball. Now, another way you can control the defense is by saying man on to a player that's has a man coming to him, get the ball out as quick as possible so we can keep possession and try to score a goal. Now, another way is saying you have time. Now, saying you have time or saying just time indicates to the player, listen, I've got time to control the ball and find the best option possible for us to score this goal. Now, you want to do this so because you can see the whole pitch. A player like your centre back, your left back, your centre mid, your striker cannot see the whole pitch. You can. This is why you are so crucial part of the team, and your communication with the rest of the team is so crucial to control the defense. Now, that's all the basics of goalkeeping we've covered today. We've also covered penalties earlier in the video and corners. Now, I want to say a big thank you to Zach for helping me today, my brother, and I also want to say a big thank you to Angelina for recording behind the camera.
You're welcome.
And thanks for watching. Six main aspects: how to touch the ball, how to drive the ball, how to position yourself to collect the ball, how to control your defense, how to position and how to distribute the ball. Forgot the last aspect. There'll be a demonstration of a penalty that will be taken in the game. Unfortunately, we won't have a goalkeeper being goals, but Zach, my brother, will show how a penalty should be taken. All right. Okay, that's not how it should be taken. All right. Zach, you want to show a demonstration? Good from Zach there. Good enough where he's not going to hurt himself, but that's good enough. With the soccer aspects. Introduce yourself, Zach.
Zach, I play for St. Genesee.
That's basically the basics of goalkeeping covered there. Yeah, so good to go.